Hey, how's it going, boys? What is up? Sora's back for another so-called tutorial video, I suppose. I know I'm a little bit late because this was supposed to be out like at least yesterday, but whatever. At least I got this out, right? So anyway, because we got back once again for Xenos, and we finally got another brand new weapon for water, which is the harp thingy. And then you'll be wondering, you know, is it worth to get? Which one should I get? There's too many Xenos to go through. I don't know which to aim for. Yada yada. So let's just jump right into it, and I'll try to explain a little bit from my point of view, I guess. Alright, so here we are. This is the main screen of Xeno Cocy. So you'll be wondering, there's now a staff and a harp, and you'll be wondering which one should you properly aim for, or which one you really need the most. But if you ask me, I would definitely say the staff has definitely more use right now, because you can heal and, I don't know, revitalize, if I recall correctly, was it? Right? Yeah. I would really definitely say, because the stuff is definitely a lot better, because you can technically somewhat use that. You can definitely somewhat use this in terms of in comparison to this when it comes to like just main handing, right? But I would definitely say in terms of like just putting it into the grid, you just really just take whichever that has a higher stats, right? So from what I can see, because it's so freaking minimal, right? Like the stats wise at level 100 or 150, it's like not really that much difference, so it doesn't really matter all that much. So honestly, in terms of Cocy wise, you can just pick either one. But if you ask me, if you can only aim for one, just try to get the staff, I guess, because you wouldn't really be using the harp all that much as a water team, for water teams basically. You wouldn't really plan to be doing that, because you know, a lot of the strong teams then tend to not really rely on harps or using illusions or drum master to begin with. So yeah, maybe because I'm actually thinking that the harp doesn't seem all that bad right now, but I felt like maybe in the near future, when we have like more classes that you can actually use with the harps as main hand or whatever, then yeah, maybe during that time it'll be a whole lot better. But for now, harps isn't really that great right now, so you can just put that in the grid or whatever. Yeah. So for now, just stick to the staff if you can only get one. But in all honesty, if you got some time to like pour in to grind either the water one or the earth one, but I'm pretty sure we'll be focusing on earth. But anyway, if you just so happen to be able to farm for both, I would highly suggest you to at least get one of each weapon. Like one of each. Just try to aim for a full lumen break for each of these weapons. So just get like a total of 4, then you full lumen break, and then you can just say screw it, right? Whatever. So anyway, for earth, right? For Xeno Vohu mana, for Earth's case, this is a very clear, obvious answer if you're wondering which weapon you should go for, which is very, very obviously you should just go for the sword, because the sword is definitely the weapon that you will use all the way until endgame, because it's such a crazy main hand that you can use for the element Earth, because of this wonderful, it doesn't show here, but the wonderful water switch thingy, because that is like a super top tier thing that you may definitely need when it comes to, like, you know, Lucifer Heart or whatever, right? Or even the likes of Shiny. This is a very, very good main hand to have. So you should always try to at least get one sword. You only need one sword technically, because you don't really make use of having multiple unknowns these days in your grid. But if you want to get extra, by all means. So for the harp though, there's really no reason for you to get that at all. The harp is like relatively weak these days, so yeah, it's very similar. It works very similar as the Xeno Cocy staff, but yeah, I don't think you really want to go for this. But if you want to go for collection purposes, by all means, right, just go for it. But yeah, in short, just aim for this sword and the staff one. But I wouldn't really mind getting the heart for this, because it does look like you can make some use out of this for like later content and stuff. So just prioritize on those few, I suppose. Okay, so now you know which weapons to get, right? But you'll be wondering, what should you do, like in terms of like making it very, like, how do I say, efficient farming, right? That's like very, very clear cut on which one you should do. So when it comes to like just getting all these generic this tree's materials, right? And same goes for the other one. This other two, right? This other two is dedicated just for Xeno stuff, right? So this tree stuff, because you need these, if I recall correctly, oops. You would need this. There's another one. There's actually another one, if I recall correctly. The one that you require to host the raids, like these things, like all these things, yeah. So those generic materials, if you're lacking of those, you should definitely do the normal ones as well. And because they're there all the time, it's, if you're somehow lacking of those, you really shouldn't be mashing them all too much. You only really want these specific materials, because you want to like try to host the raid or whatever, right? To actually get the animas or, you know, get some drops. But first, the things like in terms of like going through this event, right? You want to like clear the base Xeno Maniac stuff. These Maniacs are like a must clear. I would definitely say every single day you should try to clear them. But unless you're too weak, then that's fine, I suppose. Just clear whichever that you can. If you can clear Maniacs, that's great, because you can get like a free what's that, nightmare procs and stuff. So when it comes to like the doing witch nightmares, it's actually very, very simple. When it comes to like witch nightmare, you just need to ask yourself, do you need these specific material, like this all the way till the end, all these stuff? If you need them, then you should do 120. You should, because by doing the nightmare 120, it just allows you to get more drops. So you just mash EX, and then you just have it to proc, and then you just join the 120 one. But if you don't really care about this all too much, it's a lot better for you to just join the nightmare 70, just so you can get to use like Kaguya or whatever, because the bosses for Nightmare 70 is relatively low, like in terms of HP, so it should be quite simple enough to like somewhat one-shot it fairly quickly. Because you'll be wondering is like whether the drop rates for the Nightmare 120 or 70 is any different. No, when it comes to like the flip chances for the weapons, all that stuff, it's fairly the same on each difficulty. It doesn't really matter all that much. It does vary a little bit, but if you ask me, you might as well just do it on Nightmare 70 and use Kaguya, so you have like a much better chance to get the flip to the drop the weapon of your liking or whatever, right? I mean, obviously you can't really decide which weapon is going to be dropped because it's all RNG, right? So you just really decide on which one you want to aim for, whether you need this material or not. So you just decide which nightmare you want to go for, right? Another thing is that if you're really just, let's just say if you don't really care much about any of the materials, let's just say you've already been farming, like say the normal ones, Maniacs daily and all that stuff, and then you'll be wondering which one is more convenient and much more efficient in terms of like just getting the weapons to drop. I would definitely say that the raids are something that you should totally aim for when it comes to like just weapon drops and stuff, because every single time you host, or at least if you manage to get the MVP as well, those two raid chests has a chance to appear, to have that weapon in there. Just because it's a raid chest, drop rates whatever doesn't matter. So all you need to do is just go try hard and go all in or whatever to get that MVP chest, or just host in general. So to emphasize a little bit further in terms of like the hosting part, so if you're still relatively new to the game and stuff, right, and doing all this extreme Maniac stuff is just way too hard for you, if you manage to somehow get this, because you can technically get all these materials if you're doing through the actual boss itself through co-op, which your friends or whatever can help carry you or whatever. So if you can actually get all these materials and stuff to host, I would really suggest you try to host the raids, because you're too relatively weak to like solo it or whatever, right? So having other people to carry you, at least you have a chance to get it through the host chest, right? Instead of like not being able to go through like extreme or whatever. Alright, so in conclusion, you only just need to mash the raids if you just want the weapons. And if you need the materials or whatever, you just mash all the EX and Maniacs. And when it comes to like the so-called this material, the last one, you only do the 120 version if you need a lot of them. If you don't really need like a massive amount, then just do the Nightmare 70 one, because Nightmare 70 is gonna just allow you to go through a whole lot easier. It's just that if you need this a lot, then obviously mashing the Nightmare 170 allows you to get more, and you don't really have to mash too much, right? So yeah. And then if you want to get the animas, the true animas thing, which is this one, you just want to mash the raids. And if you want just specifically those animas, you don't have to host it. It's a lot better for you to just go into the raids and just leech any single one of them. There's plenty of them to go around, and I'm pretty damn sure they die really, really fast. So there's really no reason for you to neglect on those, because it's actually really, really easy to get like the true animas and stuff. It's just, I would say this is relatively tough because it may be a little bit hard for you to actually clear like Nightmare 120 very efficiently and fast and stuff. So that's, I would say that's really about it. You should just try to aim for like the important materials that you need to farm within this event. Because you see, like for example, for my case, like because I left the harp unleveled, right? So I left it unleveled, but I already have all these materials, right? So I don't really need to focus on mashing the Xeno stuff. So the really important one in this to full limit break it is obviously to just get this true anima, right? And you obviously need to mash more of the events. So the raids, just mash more, just so you can get extras. So as long as you manage to get like all of your what's that, weapons or max limit break or whatever, you don't really have to full limit break it on the spot. You just need to get like enough materials, which is just the animas really, because all of this you can farm when outside of Xeno. You don't really have to farm it like right now. So if you can just try to get like the weapon drops itself and just get a little bit like extra true animas for your specific weapons or whatever. Yeah, honestly that's really about it. There's really not much else for me to say about the whole Xeno stuff, but yeah, in short, just focus on the Earth first, because well, Earth favorite Guild War is coming up very, very soon. I know Water is coming up next, so obviously you want to get that done as well, which is coming around I think July. Yeah, it should be around July. So yeah, just keep that in mind, and yeah, hopefully you guys find this very helpful, and yeah, so make sure you hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again on the next video or on stream. So yeah, bye bye.